You're listening to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, giving you an in-depth look at Missouri Western athletics with interviews, features, game broadcasts, and more. Here's your host, Tommy Rezach.
Welcome to this special edition of the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach, and so pleased to be joined by the seventh head coach of Missouri Western men's basketball history. Joining us after 12 successful years at Upper Iowa University, Brooks McKowen joining us now. Brooks, congratulations. You're first of what I'm hopeful to be many interviews with you here on GSI. Thanks for joining us. Just first off, congratulations and welcome to Griff Nation.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. I'm excited, man. Looking forward to working with you and everybody else there. It's an exciting time, an exciting opportunity right now.
Yeah. Well, let's just start there. I know those of us who have been around here for a little bit, we're pretty prideful of what we've got here and the things that we've been able to achieve. But for you on the outside looking in, you're having a great amount of success, formerly in the Central region and then in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Why Missouri Western and kind of why now in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's one of those places like you talked about. Everybody's got a ton of pride there, and just being down there and getting to know everybody and meeting everybody in the athletic department, you can feel that pride in Missouri Western and how everybody wants to win and be good and have successful programs. And that's what I want. I want to be at a place that has high expectations, that want to win, that want to compete for championships. And I'm so grateful for Upper Iowa in the past 12 years here and the support I've had here. But it was time. It was time for me to move on to another opportunity and another challenge. And I've been in that region for 10 years when we were in the NSIC. So I know the region well. I know the leagues well. And it's great basketball. It's two of the best conferences in the country, in my opinion. And, I'm looking forward to competing in it again.
Now, I know you have teams that can put up a lot of points relatively consistently. Just with that in mind, what style, what philosophy do you hope to bring here? What can fans maybe expect out of your teams?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting brand of basketball. I promise you that. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be up-tempo, fast-paced, a very spaced-out style, and our kids are going to play hard. We're going to go out and find guys that are high-character kids that are good at basketball and that want to compete. That's the thing for me is when people walk away from our games, I want them to walk away, feeling like the team competed, gave it everything they got. We're going to win. We're going to lose. Like, it's going to happen, and I understand that. But we just want teams to know that we're competing. And we're going to get up and down and play fast. Like, that's what we've done since I've been here. We've averaged over 80 points a game all 12 years I've been at Upper Iowa. And we're going to bring that to Griffin Nation. We're going to come down there and, we're going to show them a new style, a new pace, and have a little fun with it.
Yeah, you're right. A decade in the Northern Sun. And of course, we know that we cross paths a lot, particularly either in those non-conference challenges to open the season or in NCAA tournaments. You adjusted Northern Sun, GLVC. Now you're a coach in the MIAA. What will be that biggest adjustment going from playing the MIAA to being an MIAA school and trying to beat this conference on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think, I bring the experience of what that league's about. It's a great basketball league with some really good coaches. And I know that, and that's okay. And I think, the GLVC had good basketball too. The NSIC had good basketball too. This region and this area is full of really good basketball teams and good basketball coaches. So I'm just excited to be at a place where I can compete and continue to grow a program and hopefully take it to some new heights.
I think every coach's recruiting style now, they've had to adapt, right? We're in this new age of NIL and people hopping for all sorts of different places that athletes just have a little bit more say in it these days. I think a Coach Martin, a guy that, recruited local, but he fell back on where he was from, Greater Nashville. We've had a women's program that this year, recruited internationally. What do you see kind of as the biggest challenges, the biggest hurdles right now in recruiting at this level?
Yeah, keeping guys is one. With the transfer portal these days, it's hard to keep your guys sometimes. And fortunately for me, we've kept guys at Upper Iowa. Now I'm not naive. I know that there's guys that are going to transfer in my program, and that's okay. We'll adjust to it too. But I think you just got to find your good base and what works for you. And for me, it's going to be building from high school. We're going to try to go out and get some high school kids. You recruit local, you recruit Iowa, you recruit Nebraska. Like, Missouri Western's in a great spot for that, to be able to kind of branch out and recruit within 5 hours. There's a ton of great basketball and great basketball programs. So I'm excited for that opportunity. My net just got a little bigger from where I was at. But you got to stick to your guns. We're going to still go out and get those high character kids that are tough, hard nosed, and try to bring them in and fit into our style.
Now, I wanted to ask you, you're an Iowa guy, and just thinking about some of the coaching moves that have happened. You played Ben McKowen when he was at Northwest 8 times, and in fact, the only time you beat him was in St. Joseph at the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic in November of 2015. And lo and behold, a decade after that, he'd be accepting the role as the head coach at the University of Iowa. But I think about that, to see him take 4 guys from that team, take guys from Casey proper, a kid from Plattsburgh, and have the success that they did. I mean, we beat them here in St. Joe in 2024, and little did we know what was going to happen from there on out. But for us, like, talking of the Missouri Western part of this, like, to see someone from this region, from this area, this state, to see him, his staff, and those players ascend that quickly, is that a good thing for the rest of the nation to see? Like, hey, you know what, Division II, we're not as big a drop off as people might think. Like, the talent is real, and I think McCollum's run here recently probably puts that on full display, right?
It does. We don't want a whole lot of other coaches to know that, being D2 guys.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no, I'm happy for him. Like, he's
yeah.
obviously a great coach, and we had some battles over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking with my staff about it today. We
Mm-hmm.
played them 16 months ago, but we played them up in the small college basketball tournament at
Mm-hmm.
Northern State a couple of years ago to a 9-point game in a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that same group of guys went on, and as everybody saw what they did at Drake,
Yeah.
and then now he obviously moved on. So I think that just, similar to what he did, like the guys he recruited, the local kids that he got from your guys' area, I think is what we all want to do. Like, looking at that model, those are the type of kids we want to bring into Missouri Western and to have as part of our program. And the guys are going to work hard and continue to grow and get better as they did in their career and as what they did this year. So, looking at what he's done, I think we all try to model that a little bit. Any good coach out there looks at guys that win and tries to steal a thing or two from them and how they do it. So, there's definitely that aspect of it. And playing him over the years, I learned a lot just to compete against him. And the years we didn't play him, we scrimmaged him a few times too. So I
Okay.
got to dive in a little bit even more with it. But he's done an outstanding job, and where he's at now is it's kind of unbelievable and crazy. But I'm happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple more things with our newest head men's basketball coach, Brooks McKowen. I guess, when you finally get down here and get settled, what is it you're looking forward to the most? I know, the recruiting piece is virtually nonstop, but once, like, you get here, what's kind of the thing you're looking forward to the most?
Yeah, just well, getting there. I'm
Yeah.
excited to
Yeah.
get there so we can do these in person.
Sure, sure.
So I'm excited for that. But just to dive in and get to know the people more and get to know the community,
Mhm.
that's the thing that excites me. Like, I got to drive around. When we played there, I got to see the community and the surrounding areas and the people that support Missouri Western. But I'm looking forward to really diving into that and getting to know people and letting them know who me and my family are. Our family's excited to move there. So that's the big thing for me. Recruiting's already starting. We're already started on that. And, to get a team there and to dive into it and to really get going next year. But we're a little ways for that. So, the first thing is just to get to know the community and get to know everybody around there and everybody that supports Missouri Western and become part of the family.
Last thing for you, maybe it's like, a bit out there, but I am curious, your team just had a 21-win season and weren't selected for the NCAA tournament. I know Missouri S&T had an unbelievable run out of your league. I think about, William Jewell and that team getting to the tournament the year prior. It brings to the mind, like, there's a lot of D2 coaches I see. I think, like, the Kearney women's coach, Drew Johnson, they had a 20-win season. They got left out. Our women's team won 24 games 2 years ago, got left out. I know this is, for people that are higher up in presidents and ADs and things like that. But for a team in Division II to get 20 plus wins, we see this men's and women's to get left out. I mean, is there a better formula than regionalization for teams getting to postseason tournaments? Or
Well, I mean, yeah, there's the D1 formula and the D3 formula that both take
yeah.
teams like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the example, this year our 21 wins were against all D2 teams. We put
Mm-hmm.
together a tough schedule because
Yeah.
we know how close you can be to those regions and get left
Mm-hmm.
out. And six in the region winning a game in the conference tournament, getting to the semifinals, and somehow not making it. Now they
Yeah.
had a lot of bad things had to go wrong for us here, and it did.
Yeah.
But that happens. But yeah, absolutely. Any other year or any other system, we'd be in. And
Yeah.
I think there's a way to do that. Like the D3 model, I think gets the best teams in it, and then they regionalize it after, which I think
Yeah.
is something that they should look at. And I know there's been talks at the NCAA for that, and people a lot smarter than me and way above me are working on that. So hopefully there's some changes here in the future, because especially, coming back to the MIAA and the NSIC, that's, if you look at it, that's like the Big Ten and the Big 12 only taking 8 teams into the NCAA
Yeah.
tournament. I mean, it's just a monster of a region with a ton of good basketball teams. So if that were ever to switch, we'd all be a little excited about it.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, I'm always curious. A lot of coaches. That's been, I feel like, the last few years, the pressure's maybe mounted up on that a little bit. So yeah, I think to maximize the experience for kids who have these great seasons and to reward them, I think everyone would love to see that, and I'm sure we'll have more discussions on things like that to come. And a thing or two about 20-win seasons. Coach McKowen had 4 of them at Upper Iowa, 3 NCAA tournament bids, and 2 wins in NCAA tournament games, over 200 wins in a dozen years. And he'll bring his talents from Fayette, Iowa to St. Joseph, Missouri as the 7th head coach of Missouri Western men's basketball. Again, it's Brooks McKowen joining us on the GSI podcast. Brooks, great to meet you. Great to talk with you again. Congratulations. I know you got a kind of a busy week, a few weeks ahead of you. And I know we just ended basketball season, but I'm already looking forward to November. And just looking forward to being along on this ride with you guys. So appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Tommy.